All right, I'm back, and as promised, I have my wheel here. And the first thing we need to know is how to measure the angle that something makes when it is rotating. So when we talked about linear motion, motion in a straight line, we would measure the distance r in meters. Well, when it comes to something that's rotating, we're going to measure an angle. Now, I hope that you're all familiar with the concept that if you go around in a circle, then that's going to be equal to 1 rotation, but that's also equal to 1 revolution, but that's also going to be equal to 360 degrees, but that is going to be equal to 2 pi radians. So it's the radian that I think that you might not be familiar with. So when you go around in a complete circle, that angle is going to be 2 pi radian. That is the official metric concept for angle. So it's going to be called the radian. Very important. So all of these equations that we're going to come up with for rotational motion, so rotational velocity, rotational speed, they're all going to use this concept of the radian. And so the idea of the radian is pictured there so that let's say you got a circle that has a certain radius r. So imagine that you are able to take that distance and then put it on the wheel here. Okay, so that distance is the same as this distance right here. Well, then this angle right there, that would be 1 radian. So that's the definition of a radian. So here are some sample calculations that you should be able to do. So we don't do a lot of unit conversions in here, so I wanted to make sure that you knew how to do this. Whenever you do a unit conversion, you're going to write down 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, and then in 1 set of parentheses, you're going to put down what do you know. So we know 45 degrees. And in the second set of parentheses, this is going to be our conversion factor. So we want to go from 45 degrees to radians. Now we want to get rid of the word degree, so we're going to put the degree down here in the bottom part of the fraction. So you should know that 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So therefore, a degree divided by a degree has to equal 1. So that this degree here is going to cancel with this degree, but we're trying to get to radians, so that means that we need to put the radian on the top. Okay, now we need to put the numbers in there. And so it says right here that 2 pi radians is going to be equal to 360 degrees. So we're going to put that in here. So now all we've got to do is get out our calculator and multiply 45 times 2 times 3.14, so that's pi, and then take that answer and divide by 360. And so that turns out to be 0.79 radians. Okay, what about if we knew what it was in radians, but we wanted to change it to revolutions? So in this case, we're going to write down our 2 sets of parentheses. In the first set, we write down what do we start with, which is going to be 10 radians. And then we put our fraction in the second one. We're trying to get rid of what unit? The radian. So we're going to put the radian down here. And we're trying to go to what? revolutions, so that means we need to put the word revolution up there. And then now go back up to here. So next to the word radian is 2 pi. So we'll put 2 pi there. And then next to the word revolution was a 1. So 1 revolution has in it 2 pi radians. So we're going to take 10 times 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2, 5. 5 divided by 3.14, so that's pi. And then we end up with 1.6 revolutions. Don't forget to put the units on the end of it. So don't just give me a number. You should always give me the number and then the unit that goes on the end of it. So this, if you're one of my students, that could be on the exam. Now, I would give this to you. So that's the conversion factors, although it's a really good idea to memorize it. I think that you already knew this stuff. So the only new stuff is this 2 pi radian is 1 complete circle. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will talk about what do we mean by a distance and then speed and then acceleration when something is rotating.